Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Walaikum salam, sir. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. So we can now start. Okay, this is going to be the second class on the series of learning English, right? I think we have already discussed all these things, and this is where I stopped in the last class, as far as I remember. Can anybody just confirm if this is the area that we discussed in the last class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have given you some homework, right? Did everybody complete all the homework? Okay. Um, right. Okay, so I have already told you that you better avoid sending messages to the chat box. You can unmute and talk at any time, right? So if you don't understand anything while I'm speaking, you can just interrupt me and ask, right? I will be helping you. Okay, so these are the materials that we will need to learn English, right? So first of all, you should have a dictionary, right? So our classes will go based on the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. We are going to learn a lot of words. We will call them vocabulary based on dictionary. Okay, so you can see this is my dictionary, and this dictionary you can purchase, right? So I would recommend you, if you don't have any dictionary, you better purchase a dictionary because it will always help you. It will always help you. Okay, right. And now after that we have to collect new words, right, to learn their meanings. So from which we can collect words is from reading newspapers, right? Not only reading newspapers, even by reading a billboard we can learn a lot of words, right? But generally, hello, എത്ര മണി? Okay, I'm really sorry, I received a call. So what I was telling is, can you just repeat what I just said now? I just forgot because I received a call.
Collecting new words from newspaper.
Yeah, we are going to learn a lot of words from reading newspapers, right? So now I have just listed out some advantages of reading newspapers. You can just go over them, but I'm not going to ask anything in the exam, so I'm not even going to conduct any examinations, but I will give you some assignments or kind of group activities, right? Because we have gathered here to learn English, not for writing examination, because we have written enough amount of examination since our grade 1 period, right? Okay, so can anybody just read it? I will give you opportunity to interact with me. You have to grab the opportunity and utilize it, right? So that is in your hands. Okay, so he's going to read the advantages of reading newspapers. Even you can conduct a small presentation kind of thing. You can just read it and you can just give a brief introduction or brief description about each and every advantage. Is there any volunteer? Okay, okay. Before everything, I have to just confirm if you have already, if you all have already watched the tenses videos, because my topic today is to teach you tenses properly, right? But I don't want to repeat the same thing again and again because I have taught tenses many times already, and I don't want to repeat it again and again. You know, it's very boring for me. So that's why I already shared the recorded videos. Did you all watch? Is there anyone who has not yet watched that videos? Is there anyone? Is there anyone? Okay, anyways. Okay, I'm not going to teach you the theoretical parts of tenses because we have been learning tenses since grade 6, and I also have already uploaded a video. If you have any confusions, you can ask me, but we are going to practice tenses today, right? Okay, so the advantages you can just read. So the major advantage of reading newspapers is to enhance our vocabulary, right? And if you read newspapers, you can come to know what is happening around us, right? Locally and internationally, right? Okay, so okay, after that I'm just coming here. Is it hard to attain fluency in English? What's your idea? What do you think about it? Is it hard to attain fluency in English? So we are all studying English. What is the purpose of learning English? Ultimately, we have to speak like native English speakers, right? Without any interruption or without any issues. We have to seamlessly speaking. So that is our ultimate goal. That is our ultimate goal. So I would say it's challenging. It requires a lot of hard work, but it's not difficult at all, right? It's not difficult at all. You can attain it, right? So you can ace this also. Now our ultimate goal is fluency in English, not to pursue a PhD or not to have an what do you call this kind of certification, or not to get A plus in the examinations. We have to speak. That is the major use of language, right? So we have to speak, we have to express our idea, we have to express our opinions to others, right? So I have just inserted a picture here. I shared one of my session recording. I teach chemistry and mathematics to some foreign students, right? So when I shared one small clip of my session, one of my friend had asked me this one. So can anybody read this one? Because I don't like to read Tanglish. You know Tanglish, the mixing of English and Tamil. Yeah, I don't like that language because we have to give the respect of each and every language, right? So he is asking how to attain fluency in English. He is asking for some tips, right? So the first tip is to love what? You have to love. Then only you can attain fluency in English. What should you love? What should you love? Is my answer correct? Is my answer correct? I have already told you I cannot be speaking alone because it's very difficult for me. You have to keep yourself unmuted throughout the session, and whenever I ask question, you have to express your idea. Don't worry about whether the answers are correct or wrong, right? By making mistake constantly, only we can learn, right? So our mistakes are the best teachers, right? Okay, so you have to first love the language, love the English language, then only you can attain fluency. Okay, that is the first requirement to learn English. Okay, now tell me, how many of you love English language? Can you raise your hands? Those who love English language can now raise your hands quickly. Yeah. Okay, only 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, you all are active, right? So if you are sleepy, please tell me, right? So we can watch a movie, right? If you are sleepy, if I am lulling you, you can just inform me. We can just watch a movie, right? Okay. To achieve fluency, there are some tips actually. We have to practice, right? So practice speaking regularly. So you might think that we do not have an environment to speak English. Yes, definitely we are not born in England, so we do not have an environment. But we have to create our own environment, right? So you may have your friends, you may be residing in the hostel, right? So in your room with your roommates, you can speak in English. In your faculty or in your university, you can speak with your colleagues in English, right? So even you both speak the same language, you can speak with them in English, right? So it's not going to harm you at all, right? But most of the people don't do it. Whenever they meet a person from the same language, they tend to speak in their mother language, right? It may be a psychological effect, but you have to cheat yourself and speak with English, right? Speak with them in English, and then immerse yourself, right? So immerse yourself means what? So how many of you consider the word immerse as an unknown word now? How many of you don't know the meaning of the word immerse? How many of you don't know? Immerse. Even you can tell me the meaning in Tamil if you know the meaning. Okay. Right. Is there anyone who knows the meaning of this?
Moolhadi.
Okay, Moolhadi, right. So immerse.
Immerse mean moolhadi.
Moolhadi. Okay, that's okay. But never. Wait a minute. I will send a picture to your WhatsApp group. You can just see this one. Okay, how many of you use Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary? Now you have to take your dictionary and you have to turn the pages and go to the word, right? Are you all ready to do with me? Right? So you have to take your dictionary and I am also going to take it and I will put the meaning of that word in the group, right? After that I will insert here and then explain, right? So we are going to learn a new word today, right? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Immerse, right? Okay, immerse. So you have a rough idea what immerse is, right? Okay. Okay, if you have found the word, you can just drop me a message if you have found the word. Okay. As your group here. Right, now I have sent the picture. Can anybody just see your mobile phone and read the description of the word immerse, right? So in our course, this is the first word that we are going to study, immerse, right? So is there any volunteer? I can simply read the description and explain, but that is only beneficial for me, right? So but if you open your mouth and speak, that will be a practice for you, right? So as I have already told you, practicing is very important. So how do you practice? You have to open your mouth and speak, then only you can attain fluency, right? So is there anyone to read the description of the word immerse? And I will send the remaining portion of the description of the word also. Okay, so this is the next page, right? This is how we are going to study, right? Immersion heater also we can study. Okay, now I will simply, okay, right, now you can see the word immerse, right? So this is the photograph that I have taken from the dictionary, right? So do you see the same description in your dictionary also? How many of you are keeping your dictionary along with you? Can you raise your hand? How many of you are keeping your dictionary? Okay, Hazina Mahmood. Okay, can you yeah, that's fine. Okay, so is there any volunteer to explain the word to me? Anyways, I will explain you, right? So how you have to use the dictionary. Now using Oxford Dictionary is an art, right? So now this is phonics system. Let me annotate over here. Oh. Okay. So now this is called phonics system. This tells you how you have to pronounce this word. How you have to pronounce this word. And this tells you which word class this word belongs to. And you can see the numeric numbers 1 and 2, which means the word has two meanings. The word has two meanings, right? Okay. Now this tells the description of the word. This tells the description of the word. Okay, right. Now to put somebody, now SB stands for somebody and STH stands for something, right? So if you are already using this dictionary, you might be aware, but if you don't know, you have to now understand that in the dictionary, if you see SB, that stands for somebody, and STH stands for something. Okay, into a liquid so that they or it are completely covered, right? For example, if you take a glass of water and if you put a coin, now you can say the coin has completely immersed into the water. Yeah, how can you construct a sentence? Now I will tell you how you have to form sentences, right? First we have to collect the words. We have to collect the words and we have to arrange them according to the grammatical rules, and then we have to practice them. After that we have to apply the sentences that we have formed in our day-to-day conversation, right? This is how our procedure should happen. Okay, can you repeat the procedure of speaking in English? We have to collect the words. We have to collect the words. How can you collect the words? By reading only we can collect the words. After that, among the collected words we might have some unknown words. We have to learn their meanings. So to learn their meanings we have to use the dictionary. After that, the collected words should be formed into sentences using or adhering to grammatical rules. We will study the necessary grammatical rules also. Okay, right? Okay. After that you have to practice them. How do you practice them? You have to find a pair with whom you can practice your spoken English, right? And then you have to apply in your day-to-day conversation. For example, if you are talking to a lecturer, or if you are delivering a presentation, or even if you are teaching, you have to apply them, right? So this is how our learning process should happen. Okay, right. The second meaning is you can now in this context I have used this word in the second meaning, not in the direct meaning. The direct meaning is putting something into a liquid so that it is completely covered into the liquid, right? For example, putting a coin into the water. So you can say if you put a coin into the water, the coin will completely immerse. Yeah, it will sink. Okay, can you tell me some synonyms for immerse? Okay, one word I told you, sink, right? Sink. Does anybody know any other synonyms for this word immerse? Is there any volunteer? Since the meeting started, I am the only person who has been speaking. Yeah. If you don't know, you have to tell don't know. You can't keep
immerse,
silent. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Dip varum, sir. Dip.
Okay, dip is also okay. Dip. Okay, dip is also correct. Okay. Anyways, right. Now the second meaning is to become. Oh, okay. So okay. I will allow a person to read. Right. So is there any volunteer, or shall I point out someone to read it? Now I am randomly giving the opportunity. You have to grab it. Right. You have to grab it if you want to speak in English. Now you see, you might not get any other opportunities, right? So you can utilize this opportunity, right? So okay, can you read it?
So can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, to become or make SB
No. I already told you.
completely involved.
What does SB stand for in the dictionary? If you find SB, that stands for somebody, right? So let me write over here. SB stands for
Average problem.
somebody, right?
Yeah.
Somebody. And STH stands for something. Something. Okay? Right.
Okay.
Okay. Mm.
To become or make some completely involved in something.
Okay, right. So you have to
She
involve
immersed
in something that is called immerse, right? Okay. Now the italic sentences are the example sentences. How now these sentences depict how you can apply these words in your day-to-day conversation, right? Okay. Can you read the first sentence?
She immersed herself in her work.
Okay, so she immersed herself in her work mean she was completely involved in the task. Yeah, she was completely involved in the task. Do you understand? For example, if you want to learn English, if you want to learn English, you should immerse yourself in learning process. Yeah, in the learning process. Okay, now what we are going to do is you all have to unmute yourself and 5 times you have to repeat the 5 times you have to read the sentence, everybody, right? So I will start from 3 2 1 start. So once I finish telling start, you all have to read the first sentence 5 times. Are you all ready? Did you understand what I just said now? Did you all understand what I just said now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will count down. You all have to, okay, can you all unmute yourself, everybody? If you don't unmute yourself, I will remove you from the meeting, everybody. Yeah, everybody. So first you have to do yeah, okay, wait. First of all, you have to read the description. Oh, after that I can hear my voice again. After that you have to read the first sentence 5 times. Okay, ready. 3 2 1 start.
She immersed herself in her immersed
Herself in her work. Herself in her work.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. This is how we are going to practice, right? You have to open your mouth and speak, right? Every sentence should be practiced in this manner, right? Do you understand that? Okay, now the second sentence. I need a volunteer to read the second sentence and explain what it tells. Only one volunteer, otherwise I will point someone to read it and explain. Everybody should be actively participating in the session, right? Once I call for a volunteer, if you delay, then you are wasting your time as well as my time and others' time also, right? Okay. So once I call for a volunteer, you should quickly grab the opportunity and utilize that, right? Okay. Is there any volunteer? I can't all the time ask, is there any volunteer? Is there any volunteer? I can't ask all the times. Okay. Anyone?
Claire
Clary and Phil.
Clary and Phil. Were
Clary
immersed.
and
Yeah,
Phil
now you see,
were
this is a very interesting
immersed
sentence, right?
in
If you understand its meaning, it's really a very interesting sentence. Clary and Phil were immersed in conversation in the corner. So let's say the Clary and Phil are couples,
the
and
corner.
they have forgot themselves and they have immersed in the conversation. Do you understand? In the corner, right? Which means they forgot themselves and they are talking. They have completely involved in the conversation, right? Do you understand? Can you interestingly translate this sentence to Tamil? Yeah. Can you try to translate this sentence to Tamil? Then you can easily understand what it says. Anyone? Clary and Phil were immersed in conversation.
Clary and Phil அவங்களோட உரையாடல வந்து
மூழ்கி இருந்தார்கள், which means, which tells how they were involved in the conversation, right? Okay. So here you can see the noun of this verb, and we will see those things later. Okay, we have a lot of things to study. And you might have heard about this one, immersion heater. Immersion heater, does anybody have immersion heater at your home? I don't have, because we don't use immersion heater nowadays. Yeah. Okay, so it's a device that provides hot water for a house by heating water in a tank, right? So this is immersion heater. Can you translate this immersion heater to Tamil? Anyone? To translate this to Tamil? No one is there. Anyways, okay. Right. So next one, you have to immerse yourself, right? So for example, let's say in the first session itself, I played a video, right? So in that video, Vijay is asking, is there anyone who was curious to learn the meaning of those two words that he wrote in the board, right? So likewise, whenever we read a passage or paragraph or anything, if you encounter an unknown word, you should have the curiosity to learn the meaning. Do you understand? Right? So that kind of immersion should happen in your learning process. After that, you have to focus on listening and reading. You have to read a lot and you have to listen. What can you listen? You can listen to English news, English speeches, and everything that is produced in English can be listened to. Okay? Right. And use technology. You can use your technology, right? Most of the time I use ChatGPT to chat because it yeah. So and then you can watch some videos on YouTube. You can utilize technology without watching reels on Instagram in Tamil. You can listen to English podcasts, English speeches, English news, so that you can increase your listening ability, and then you can improve your speaking skills, right? And then the next important tip is to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. For learning from your mistake, you have to commit mistake, right? You have to commit mistake. You shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes, and you shouldn't be shy to make mistakes, right? Learning happens while making mistakes, right? So even in the class, I don't know who you are, and among yourself you don't know who you are, so you can just immerse yourself in the class and you can freely unmute yourself and talk, right? Because if you want to study English, you don't want to attend this class, because on YouTube there are many videos, you can simply watch that. But here I want to give you the opportunity to open your mouth and speak. Then only you can attain the ultimate goal of fluency, right? Ultimately we have to speak like English speakers or native English speakers. That is our ultimate goal. Is there anyone who is attending this class for the certificate that we promised that we will be providing? Is there anyone? Okay, now I just want to know the reason why you have joined. Just for the certificate or to gain knowledge? How many of you are attending this class for gaining knowledge? Just raise your hands.
We have to improve our English knowledge fluently, so
Okay.
that's why.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I can see many hands, right? Okay. Now you all can lower your hands. Is there anyone who attends this class merely for gaining the certificate? Merely for certificate. Yeah, we will provide a certificate. That's okay. But the certificate is not the ultimate goal. Okay. Right. Now what technologies we can use? Yeah, most of the time the popularly used technology or the application is WhatsApp. Now I just sent you a screenshot, right? So in this screenshot also this person has typed in Tanglish. I don't like the language Tanglish because we are not giving the respect to both English and Tamil, right? If you want to communicate in English, you have English keyboard, you can type it. But if you want to communicate in Tamil, you have the access to Tamil keyboard. You can use that, right? You don't want to use, or you don't want to invent a new language, right? So I don't like people speaking in Tanglish, and I received many feedbacks in Tanglish, right? And yeah, that's why I didn't respond to most of the people who sent the feedback in Tanglish, because I don't like those kind of people, right? If you want to provide any feedback, you can just simply type in English and send, right? Okay, that's okay. So give the respect to all the language, right? Don't mingle the language, right? Don't mingle the language. Then ChatGPT. Now, how many of you communicate with ChatGPT? I communicate with ChatGPT most of the times. Yeah. And then YouTube, right? So if you open your YouTube, the YouTube algorithm should suggest videos only in English, right? So now we are consuming a lot of things through social media, especially from YouTube, right? So when you listen to anything or when you watch any videos in English, the algorithm itself will recommend you videos in English only, right? So once you open the YouTube app, you should receive the notification only in English. So you have to consume everything in English. You can communicate in your mother language at your home, but beyond your home, you have to speak in English only, right? You should follow this habit. How many of you will follow this habit? Can you raise your hand? Hereafter, if you leave home, or if you go to university, or if you go to school, or if you go to your workplace, you have to communicate only in English with your colleagues, right? For example, let's say you go to a shop, right? Don't ask the shopman to give you onion, right? Sometimes he might not know what onion is, right? But with the people who can understand English, you have to communicate with them in English, right? How many of you will do that? Now you have to promise. For example, let's say you go to your university with your colleagues, you have to speak with them in English only. And if you meet your demonstrators or lecturers, you have to speak only in English. How many of you will do that? Raise your hands. Nobody. Why? Only one person. I think the power of motivation is not enough. Okay. Okay. Now, why should we study English language? There are many purposes, right? But we study English only for writing the exams, right? But the purpose or the objective of learning English is to communicate. And there are many purposes, right? So I have just listed out them. You can just see, right? So the main purpose is for communication. If you want to communicate with a person who cannot understand your mother language, and if you don't know his mother language, then the common language that we have is only English, right? So English can make our lives easy with respect to communication. And then for higher studies, right? So higher studies, in the sense, you all have experienced how important English is after going to university, right? So after finishing your school career, everything will happen in English. Without English, I have some friends in my university. They are very intelligent, right? I'm especially talking about boys, right? So they are very intelligent, but the reason that they tell is they cannot understand anything while the lectures are conducted in English and the examinations are conducted in English. Even though they have the ideas for the answers, they don't know how to write it, how to express it, right? So examination is also a mode of communication happening through writing. Do you agree with that? How many of you agree with the statement that I said now? Examination is also a mode of communication, right? Yeah. Now the examiner has asked the question and you are supposed to write the answers, right? If you cannot express your ideas in writing, that's why you have to improve your writing skills also. Yeah. So the second reason why we should study English is for higher studies. And for migration means if you want to go to another country where English is spoken as the first language, definitely you have to crack IELTS or any other examination, right? IELTS examination, have you heard about that? IELTS. Okay. So in IELTS examination also, they are checking only 4 skills:
Yes.
reading, speaking, writing and speaking, right? So in any examination, they will be checking only these 4 skills. Okay, right? And for interviews, for job, for even marriages, for teaching, in short, to be successful in life, English is vital, right? So you can just write this down. To be successful in life, English is vital. Vital means it's important, right? It's important. Okay, now we will come to the overview of English language. For example, if you take a particular subject, for example, let's take a common subject, and I'm not going to talk about A levels or university syllabus. We will just take a common example of O-level mathematics. In O-level mathematics, we have a syllabus, we have a curriculum, we have a content list, right? So we have to follow the syllabus, right? But here in English, we can divide the entire syllabus into 2 major categories. What are they? The first one is going to be grammar. The first one is going to be grammar. Okay. Has everybody joined? Shall we resume the session? Okay, fine. So the grammar, right? So now I already told you, for each and every terminology we have a description or definition. We should know that. For example, if I ask you what matter is in chemistry, you should tell matter is anything that can occupy space and have mass, right? So this is a simple definition. So for grammar also we have a definition. So if anybody comes and asks you what grammar is, you should be able to tell. You can't simply translate if now, for example, we have this habit, right? If somebody comes and asks what grammar is, we will simply say ilakkanam. What is ilakkanam? Grammar. What is grammar? What is ilakkanam? After that, we don't say anything. Now, this is not a proper answer. This is not a proper answer for grammar, right? So, what is grammar? This is the description, or this is kind of definition, right? Nobody is going to ask the definition in English examination, but for knowledge or for understanding, we should know all these things, right? That's why I am teaching you, right? So the rules, right? So the rules in a language for changing the words and joining them into sentence. Simply the rule. I already told you, you have to collect the words and you have to arrange the words according to specific rules. Those rules are called grammar, right? For example, let's say I have to translate this sentence. For example, what can I tell? Okay, for example, you want to go to Colombo tomorrow. So, how can you tell that in Tamil? Can anybody tell me how you can tell that in Tamil? You want to go to Colombo tomorrow. How can you tell it in Tamil?
நான் நாளை கொழும்பு போக வேண்டும்.
Okay, நான் நாளை கொழும்பு போக வேண்டும். So, you know, you have collected some words, right? So, from the Tamil translation, you have நான், நாளை, கொழும்பு, right? கொழும்பு போக வேண்டும், right? So, these are the collection of words. Now, we should ensure that we know the English meanings of all these words, right? So this is what is happening in our brain while we are speaking English, right? So yeah, I, tomorrow, Colombo, go, Vendum. Vendum means what? Should? Okay,
Must.
let's say should. Oh, okay, something like that. So can you simply say, I tomorrow Colombo go should? No. We have a specific structure to arrange these words into sentence. Those structure or those rules are called grammar. That's what we are going to study in the sentence formation, right? How the sentences are formed. And then we have to learn vocabulary. So vocabulary are the collection of words, right? So all the words that a person knows or uses, right? So we have to study active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. Right? So I bet that you wouldn't have studied about active vocabulary and passive vocabulary in your school times, and even in your university, if you are an undergraduate or if you have completed your graduation, you wouldn't have heard about this active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. Am I right? I don't know. Has anybody heard about active vocabulary and passive vocabulary? Is there anyone? Did anybody hear about this active vocabulary and passive vocabulary? I'm not asking about active voice and passive voice, right? So under grammar, we will study parts of speech, sentence structures, and most importantly, tenses, right? Because tenses are very confusing concept in the entire English language. After that, we will move to modal verbs and then direct and indirect speech. Now, when we are reading newspapers, we can become crystal clear in direct and indirect speech, right? That doesn't matter. And after that, we will study about conditional statements, right? So these are the major grammar concepts that we are going to study throughout our course. And then every day, not every day, every week we will be learning vocabulary, right? So the vocabulary list may comprise both active vocabulary and passive vocabulary, right? So what is active vocabulary? Active vocabulary means the words that we use in our day-to-day conversation. For example, in Tamil, we have, how many words do we have in Tamil? We have many words, right? No, you see, I am asking a lot of questions, but you are not replying to them. So, is there any need for me to ask you a question? No, I am giving you, you have to understand this. I am giving you opportunity to open your mouth and talk, right? Do you understand? If I ask you, this might be a silly question. Nobody knows how many words are there in Tamil. But you have to talk, right? You have to talk. If I ask you how many words are there in Tamil, you should tell at least, I don't know, or there are many, something like that. That's what I expect from you. Right. Now tell me, how many words are there in English language?
Many words.
Many words, right? So do
Many
you
words.
know all the words? Do you know all the words?
No, sir.
Okay, even
No,
though
sir.
let's say you have known 1,000 words.
No.
Do you use all 1,000 words in your day-to-day conversation?
No.
No. There are some words that you know, but you don't use in your day-to-day conversation. You can understand their meaning while reading or while listening when other people are speaking, but in your conversation you will not be using those kind of words. Are called passive vocabulary. So these two categories of words are very important to learn, right? We have to learn what words we are going to use in our day-to-day conversation, and we have to learn the words that we should understand, right? So when we are reading a newspaper, or even when you are going through your lecture notes, you should understand the meanings of the unknown words. For example, let's say you are studying for your semester examination. What you will do, you will just skim through the notes and you will just mark down the important points. But in the lecture note, you might encounter a new word, right? So if you encounter a new word, do you use the dictionary to know the meaning? No, you will just you just ignore that word. But hereafter, if you encounter a new word without knowing its meaning, you shouldn't sleep, right? Do you understand? Okay, sorry for the interruption. There was an internet connection issue. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, thank you for your confirmation. Okay, so this is the overview of English syllabus, right? So this is what we are going to study. But beyond this, we are going to practice, right? So the practice is going to be the significant part in our course or in our classes, right? Okay. Now, alright, so I already told you, in any examinations, they will be testing these 4 skills in English language, right? So we can categorize them into receptive skills and productive skills, right? So if you attend any English classes, these things will be taught first, right? So receptive skills mean these are kind of inputs, right? You know, input we have to receive from the environment or outside. And productive skills are the outputs. Output mean it should come from ourselves. It should come from ourselves, right? Productive skills should come from ourselves, right? So the receptive skills mean you have to read. You have to take a piece of paper and you have to read. So you are obtaining some input from the environment. And listening, while I am speaking, you are listening to me. And while you are watching a podcast, you are listening, right? You are listening. And if you are watching a YouTube video, you should turn on the subtitle, and while listening you have to read the subtitle appearing on the screen as well, so that simultaneously you can practice both reading and listening. Do you understand? How many of you turn on captions, you know, what do you call this, subtitle while watching English videos? Okay, first tell me, how many of you watch English videos, English speeches, English news every day?
I am.
Okay. Right. Okay, fine. So, yeah, tell me, is there any doubt? Okay. So, these are the skills, right? So productive skills, if you consistently practice these receptive skills, or if you receive these skills consistently, ultimately you will be able to write and speak, right? So this is the simple task. This is very simple because we have studied a lot of things. English is not a matter, but due to the lack of practice, it is not coming to us. That's the actual reason. Okay, we have to practice, and we do not get the opportunity to practice. That's why we have given the opportunity, and you have to wisely utilize it. Okay, right. Now tenses. I am going to teach you tenses, right? So this is okay. So this is just a meme. This is active voice. Now what is this? Even yaro, even yaro. This is a song, right? And yaro, even yaro, even. This is also a song. Do you know from which movies you can watch these songs? You know, from which movies respectively? Respectively means in the order. Active voice for even yaro, even yaro. Passive voice means yaro, even. So, do you know the movies in which these songs are there? Do you know the movies? Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to give you a task, right? So I have to talk to the president of this organization also. I have already discussed with him, right? So usually we conduct free seminars in throughout the island, right? So during my seminars, I give tasks to the students, right? So for the students who come forward and voluntarily give the answers for the questions, we have given prizes to appreciate their effort. Now I am going to give you, kind of what do you call? I cannot physically give any gift or prizes, but we will set a mechanism, separate mechanism for that. For the person who sings these two songs, we will give you a prize. Yeah, okay. You have to sing these two songs. Any volunteers? Otherwise, you can pick one of the song and sing. At least 2 to 3 lyrics is enough. 2 to 3 lyrics. Yeah. Anyone? Is there anyone who doesn't like to watch songs? Anyone is there? Anyone is there? Okay, anyways. So when you hear about tenses, you are going to talk about active voice and passive voice, right? So here we are going to change the position of the subject, verb and object, and the structures will be changing, right? Now we are going to study all the tenses in a very easy way, right? Because it's very confusing for almost all the people. Okay, right? Okay. Now I want to just confirm if you all have already watched the tenses video. Should I teach tenses again? I already shared the tenses PDF also. You can go through it and understand, because I have given the English sentence along with their meanings, right? Yeah. So should I teach tenses again, or can you all learn from the videos that I shared already? Because I don't want to repeat the same thing again and again, I feel bored. That's the thing. Yeah. Utilizing that time. Now you see, I have already shared the videos. During your free time, if you watch that and come to the class, we can study some advanced things, right? Yeah. Okay, I will send it again. Okay, that's okay. Right. So how to improve vocabulary, right? So I want to make sure that while I am speaking, can you be able to understand? Yeah. Because Is that okay if I continue the session in English itself without speaking anything in Tamil? Because you see, English cannot be taught in Tamil. I should create an environment in the class. That's why I am following this method, right? Okay. So to read, now how to improve our vocabulary? We can follow many strategies, but I have just mentioned something, right? So read newspapers, books, magazine, whatever you see in English. For example, if you are traveling on a billboard, you are seeing an advertisement. in the advertisement itself, you may find some new words. You should have the curiosity to learn their meanings. That curiosity is very important. You know, curiosity, right? Curiosity to learn is very important. And then identify the unknown words from the reading, right? For example, we will see, right? For example, okay, now for example, this is the song, right? What song is this? What song is this?
Yaro even, yaro even.
Yaro even. Right. So I just watched this song along with the subtitles, right? So I encountered some unknown words. I'm going to teach them to you, right? So okay. For example, if you look at this picture, where do you want me to take you? Right? Do you understand its meaning? Whisper slowly in my ears. Whisper slowly in my ears. For example, let's say whisper. I don't know the meaning of the word whisper. How many of you don't know the meaning of whisper? Can you raise your hand? We are going to learn that. If you all know the meaning, we don't want to study that again. Okay. Whisper, you don't know, right? Whisper, right? So I had to underline whisper, right? Whisper. And then what's the next step? Use the dictionary for knowing their meanings. We have to take the dictionary and we have to take the word and we have to read the description and how we can use them in the sentences, right? And keep a vocabulary notebook for writing the vocabulary you learn, right? So nowadays we can even use the technology, right? So you can now I also have a vocabulary notebook. I can give the access to that, right? So I will now, I used to have a vocabulary notebook. Nowadays I don't use any paper materials, right? So I have a WhatsApp channel where I take the screenshots of the words, and then if I don't know the meanings, I will just type the meaning, and while I am traveling or while I am free, I will just go through the things that I have already typed again and again so that I can retain my memory, right? So shall I give the link to you? Can you all join? And you can learn, right? How many of you want to join or how many of you want to have the access to my vocabulary notebook, digital vocabulary notebook? Raise your hand. Okay, that's fine. But it has 0 followers, but anyways, I don't want to share that one, but I will set another strategy. Okay, anyways, right now, right. I think okay. So let's see this one, right? He won my femininity. How many of you don't know the meaning of femininity? Is there anyone who doesn't know the meaning of femininity? Okay. 2, 3, okay, right. Now this lyric, can you translate this lyric from the song? Is there anyone to translate this lyric to Tamil? Have you all watched this song? No.
Penme.
Okay, right. Now I already told you, if I ask about a word, you shouldn't merely translate it to Tamil. You should give a small description in English itself, right? Now if you look at this word feminine, having the qualities, right? So you see feminine. Now this is how we have to pronounce this word, and here they have mentioned the word classes or parts of speech the word belongs to, right? So it can be used as an adjective as well as noun. Now if you use it as an adjective, now see, it can be used in different contexts, right? So first context, having the quality or appearance considered to be typical of women, connected with women. So feminine means the properties of female, right? So properties of female. This is how the females will be. That is called the feminine, right? This is how the ladies will be. Do you understand? What is the opposite of feminine? What is the opposite of feminine? What is the opposite of feminine? Okay, so now you told me penmai is the Tamil meaning, right? Penmai. What is the opposite of penmai? Nobody knows. Did you all study Tamil?
An
Anmai. How do you translate Anmai in?
Anmai.
Yeah. So what is the English term for Anmai? Nobody knows. You can even check. Yeah. You see, I can simply tell the meaning, but I am inducing the curiosity, right? Are you all curious to learn English first? If you don't know, okay, if you don't know, raise your hand. Or if you know, just tell others. Okay, I also don't know the term, English term for Anmai. Yeah, what's that? What's the, yeah. What's the opposite word for feminine? Nobody knows. I didn't even receive any chat.
Masculine.
Masculine, right? Masculine, right. So here you can see the example sentences. That dress makes you look very feminine. For example, if ladies wear a specific dress, that will be modest, and it will express their feminine, or kind of thing, right? So these are just usage of these words, right? Now you can see, compare female and masculine, right? Masculine is the opposite of the word feminine, okay? And related to it, we have many words. And in grammar also, now you see, we have in some language, for example, how do you say? Asiriyar, asiriyai. Likewise, we have terms for masculine and feminine, right? So it can be used in grammar also. Okay. And then you have to keep a vocabulary notebook, right? So what you have to do is, now I used to have, earlier times, after I finished my advanced level, I used to purchase daily news every day, and I take the pieces of the news and I will paste on a CR book, and I will underline the unknown words, and by looking at the dictionary I will write their meanings by hands, because by writing we can enhance our memory power, right? By writing we can enhance our memory power. So you all should keep a vocabulary notebook, right? And at the end of the course you have to scan your vocabulary notebook and send me, right? So if you all keep a vocabulary notebook only, we will provide you the certificate, right? So the first task that I am giving you is, you can even keep a digital notebook. For example, if you are using OneNote, you can type, right? So either digital or traditional or conventional notebook, right? So you have to submit your notebook as a PDF, so that we will decide whether to give you the certificate or not, right? Based on that will add you to the marks. We will add marks to the vocabulary notebook, right? So the first assignment that I am giving you is keeping vocabulary notebook, right? So you have to keep a beautiful vocabulary notebook, right? Innovatively you can keep it, right? For example, you can take, okay, I will tell you. For example, if you are using digital notebook, you can insert the pictures of the screenshots of the videos that you are watching, and below that you can type the meanings by looking at the dictionary, and you can leave some spaces, right? Again, when you, for example, now you learn a word, after 2 days you may be compelled to use that word in your day-to-day conversation. Now again you can come back to your home and you can write that sentence that you spoke in that instance in the vocabulary notebook, right? So this is how we have to maintain the vocabulary notebook. Have you got the idea? Have you got the idea how you are going to maintain vocabulary notebook? And you ultimately at the end of the course you have to submit your vocabulary notebook. That is going to be your first assignment. Can you repeat the assignment again? Is there any volunteer? What you have to do? Can you repeat it? Can you repeat what I just said? To others? Can you help me? Because I cannot repeat because I have been talking for a longer period of time. My mouth is paining. Is there any volunteer to repeat what I just said now? Nobody is there. Nobody is willing to help me. Now you can tell what the assignment is and how you have to do that. At least a 1 minute speaking. Can you help me? Hello? Nobody is willing to help me. Why is that? I will point the people hereafter. Okay. So, Sasna, AMF Sasna. Can you repeat what I just said now? AMF Saf. Yeah. I will ask you to unmute. Yeah. AMF Sasna. Did you all understand what I just said now? Yeah, can you raise your hand if you have understood the assignment, what you have to do? Okay, right. Hasina Mahmood. Yeah, can you repeat it? Okay. Hasina Mahmood. Can you repeat the yeah, can you just remind the others what they have to do? Yeah, simply. Oh. You are making me angry. Hello. Am I audible first? Okay, anyways. Right. Now, yeah, okay. Right. Now, even though we study vocabulary, the major problem is we will quickly forget the words, right? Because we are not using them. For example, let's say today we studied a word immerse. Tomorrow if I ask the same word, you may forget its meaning. Because we read, we study, and then we forget. But this should be converted to a different procedure. We have to read, we have to teach, we have to practice, and then we have to use in our day-to-day conversation, right? Now we have read something and we have learned something, and the best way to learn is to teach others. Now let's say you have learned a word today, and to your colleague you can teach that word, right? And then you both can practice those words, and in your day-to-day conversation you can apply, right? So this is the only way to remember the vocabulary. If you study a word today, tomorrow you will definitely forget. But if you teach the same word to your friend, and you both have to practice, and you both have to apply the word in your day-to-day conversation, then only it will be eternal, right? Then only it can be long-lasting, right? It can be long-lasting in your memory. Have you understood the idea behind this? For example, how many of you will tell the meaning of the word immerse after 2 days? After 2 days, will you be able to recall the meaning of what we have studied? Yeah, depends on the individual memory power, but most of the people may forget. Yeah, so to retain the word in your memory for a longer period of time, you are supposed to teach others, and you have to practice, right? Practice is the key. Practice is the key. Practice is the key. Okay, right. Now we are going to learn some vocabulary, right? So this is just an advertisement that I have taken, and this is how my vocabulary notebook appear like, right? So now if I read vacancy, advertisement, anything, I will read it, right? So national, you know the meaning of national. Apprentice. How many of you know the meaning of apprentice? How many of you know the meaning of apprentice? If you know the meaning, I will ask you to teach others. Yeah. Anybody knows the meaning of apprentice? Nobody knows. Okay, how many of you don't know? How many of you don't know? Okay, that's fine, right? So now I have inserted the description of the word, right? So I need a volunteer to read it. Yeah, apprentice. This is how you are going to pronounce it. Apprentice. Can you read the description? Yeah, go ahead. You see, I can simply read and explain, but that is beneficial only for me. If you read, then it's useful for you. That's why I'm giving the opportunity. And you are wasting time. Can anybody simply read this description? Simply this one.
A young person. Can I read, sir?
Yeah. I have already given the approval.
Okay. A young person who works for an employer for a fixed period of time in order to learn the particular skills needed in their job.
Right. So apprentice kind of intern, right? So can you tell him as an intern? Yeah? Intern. Can we call him as intern? I don't know the Tamil meaning, right? So if you are working for a fixed period of time to learn how to do or how to perform the work, that is going to be called apprentice, right? So the person who is working to learn how to work is called apprentice. Did you understand? This is simple one. Can you repeat what I just said now? Who is apprentice? A young person or an intern who works for an employer for a fixed period of time. For example, intern means you may work for 3 to 6 months or something like that, right? For a fixed period of time. For improving your skills, right? In order to learn the particular skill, right? To learn the particular skill needed in their job. This is called apprentice, right? So apprentice means intern, right? Intern. Have you understood that? Okay. Right. Apprenticeship means a period, right? So the period, for example, kind of probationary period, probationary period. Probationary period means, during that time, they can assess your improvement in the particular job, right? So this is called apprenticeship, right? The period of time working as an apprentice, right? An apprentice electrician means an intern electrician, right? So he's just starting his career as an electrician or a chef, anything. Okay, right. Yeah, okay. So from this, I didn't know the meaning of apprentice and I just learned it. And I had to use this word in my day-to-day conversation. And I had to teach it. Now I am teaching you for the sake of me. Do you understand? I will remember this word hereafter forever because I have taught some people, right? So I will remember this word forever and I will use this word in my writings and in my speaking. And now you have learned this word today and you have to teach this word to your friends who didn't come to the class today, and then you all have to use this word in your writings and in your day-to-day conversation. This is how the learning should happen, right? Okay, did you understand that? Okay, right. Now another screenshot, right? So this is a one-to-one conversation happening between two people, and I was just watching this video by turning on the subtitle, and in the subtitle I just encountered this diffident as an unknown word. And I just learned the meaning. Now I am going to teach it because I learned it around 2 or 3 months back. Right? Now I am going to teach it again. And then hereafter I will remember forever, inshallah. So this is how you are going to learn it, right? And today you are learning it, tomorrow you have to teach another person, and you have to continuously learn. You have to continuously learn, right? How many of you, okay, before that I have to just know how many of you have already known the meaning of the word diffident? Is there anyone? Because sometimes I might not know the words that you know, and you don't know the words that I know, right? So this is teaching is kind of mutual agreement. If I don't know, I will ask you. If you don't know, you can ask me. I am teaching you actually, but it doesn't mean I know everything, or I know everything you don't know, something like that. Sometimes you may know which I don't know. So you also deserve to teach me, and I always prefer to be learning from my students. You are actually my students now because I am teaching you, but I will appreciate if you could teach me something, right? Okay, so yeah, now tell me, does anybody know the meaning of the word diffident already? Anyone? Anyone is there?
Self-confident.
Yeah, okay, self-confident person, right? Okay, yeah, now from the context of the sentence also you can predict the meaning, but we have to know the actual meaning, right? We have to know the actual meaning, right? So the diffident mean not having much confidence in yourself, not wanting to talk about yourself, kind of shy person, right? Like you guys, because you are not willing to talk now. You are willing to talk, unmuting yourself. So you are all diffident people. Can I tell? You are all diffident people. Is that okay? Are you a diffident person? Huh? Are you a shy person, right? So the synonym is shy, right? So diffident means shy. Now you see, this diffident is a passive vocabulary for you, but the word shy is an active vocabulary, because you always use this word shy, but you should be able to understand even though you don't use this word in your day-to-day conversation. So this is called passive vocabulary, right? Bakam, pesadu, bakam, alladu, you don't have self-confidence in yourself. You don't have self-confidence in yourself. You don't want to talk to others, or you don't want to talk about yourself, right? Okay, now a diffident manner. Now I can tell, in my class my students are behaving in a diffident manner. What does it mean? I am just constructing the sentences, right? So you have to take your notes, because I'm not giving you all the notes. I'm just constructing a sentence now, right? In my classes, my students behave in a diffident manner, which means in my class my students don't speak with me.
எங்க
Okay, yeah, I already told you that I will have only 1.5 hours, but if you guys are okay, I can extend the session till 10 o'clock also. I all agree. Are you all okay? Because
okay sir
is it okay? Can we continue till 10 o'clock?
yes sir
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so in my classes, my students behave in a diffident manner, right? So I will be telling, right? But you know, I conduct individual classes to foreign students, so they interact with me in an extraordinary level. They will ask you a lot of questions. If they don't understand, they will ask the questions. They will request me to repeat the explanation again and again. But here I don't feel like that, because you guys are always muting yourself and you don't talk, and I don't like this kind of one way communication, right? I am only speaking, right? Okay, so yeah. Okay, so diffident manner, diffident smile. For example, some people are there, they don't talk. Whatever the question you ask, they will just give a small smile, simple smile, because the smile speaks everything. You know, there are people. Have you seen any kind of people like that? They don't want to talk much. Whatever the question you ask, they will just simply smile, right? A diffident smile. He was modest and diffident about his own success. Some people, they are very successful, but they don't want to talk about their success story. They are modest and they don't diffident. They are diffident, you know. They are shy to express their own success. Okay, and she overcame her natural diffidence and spoke with great frankness, right? Which means some people are open, they can talk anything, naturally they can talk anything, right? So now, did you all understand the meaning of this sentence? She overcame her natural diffidence and spoke with great frankness. She spoke everything very frankly, right? Without hiding anything, she is speaking. Do you understand that? Do you understand the meaning? Have you understood the meaning of this sentence? And okay, now you all have already watched the video in tenses. I'm going to ask which what do you call this tense has been used in this sentence. Which tense has been used in this sentence? Do you have any idea? In the second sentence, we have actually constructed the sentence, right? She overcame her natural diffidence and spoke with great frankness. Or what tense? We have 12 tenses. Can you particularly tell me what tense has been used in this sentence?
Simple past.
Simple past tense. Can you tell me the example sentence that I explained in my video for simple past tense? Did you watch my video, or you are telling it according to your understanding? Tell me. How many of you have confusion in tenses? Raise your hand. I have to just take the count. How many of you have? Yeah. How many of you have confusion in tenses? Still confusion. Only one. Because if majority of the people have the confusion, I can teach it again. Otherwise, I don't want, right? If I tell like that, you don't want to actually raise your hand if you don't have any confusion, because it's waste of time. Okay, right. So only 2 people have confusion. So you are recommended to watch the video, and yeah, you can learn it, right? But every time I will be reminding you of the tenses, right? I will be asking you questions in tenses, because we don't want to spend much time on that, because that is a very simple concept. And by looking, or by, you can just take the printout of the PDF that I sent, and then you can, while attending the class, you can keep it with you, right? Just by looking at that video and just by going through the lecture note kind of thing, you can understand that, right? That is okay. Right, now here another thing, right? Yeah, I was watching this video and I didn't understand the meaning, right? So this is the subtitle, that statistics is inherently kind of incoherent, right? Statistics is inherently kind of incoherent. Oh, it's very confusing, right? How many of you understand the meaning of this sentence? Or not, actually, this is not sentence, this is a phrase. Yeah, this is a phrase, right? So now there are two concepts, phrase and sentences, right? Do you know the differences between phrase and sentences? Phrases and sentences. The basic difference between phrase and sentences. Nobody is going to ask what phrase is and what sentence is and what are the differences between them. No. Nobody is going to ask. But for our understanding, we should know all these things, right? So how many of you understand the meaning of this sentence actually? How many of you know what statistics is? Statistics. What is statistics? Oh, why are you all keeping silent? Yeah. You have raised your hand. Yeah, okay. But I encourage you all to unmute and talk, right? Okay, can you ask me some questions? Can you ask me some questions? Okay, now we are going to wind up the session at 10 o'clock, right? So some people had already sent me the feedback via WhatsApp, and I didn't read all your feedback because most of the people were sending in Tanglish, right? Now I want to hear your genuine feedback verbally, right, here in the meeting itself. So yeah, okay, so I will give you the opportunity, right? So you can unmute yourself and you can tell your honest opinion about this course, or whether my teaching is okay, or is there anything that you feel as I have to improve from my end. Anything you can just, now this is your time, you can talk anything, whether this is a useful program or it's just a waste of time, anything. Yeah, go ahead. Any volunteer? So starting is the very difficult task in everything. Who is going to start? Yeah, don't worry about your grammar or anything, you can simply talk. Honest opinions, right? In the first class also, two or three people had expressed their verbal feedback at the end of the session. Again, I'm okay. Now for the next 30 minutes, I'm not going to talk. You are going to talk, right? So you can talk anything, but there should be a topic to talk, right? So the topic that I have given is the genuine feedback about this course, right? You can tell your feedback. Feedback means about the plus and minus things, right? The things that you like from me and the things that you don't like from me. And is there any suggestion to improve my teaching? And do you expect anything else from me? These things you can discuss. You can just verbally tell. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, nobody's there. But you should speak in English, right? You should speak in English. Now you see, I don't want to continue this session because I promised him that I will be taking only 1.5 hours today, right? But I enjoy teaching you. But you also should be curious and you also should enjoy learning. And you should express your enthusiasm by talking to me, right? So yeah, I can't all the time tell you to speak. It's annoying me. Yeah, if you don't express your feedback verbally, we can close the session. Yeah, go ahead. Any volunteer? For the next 30 minutes, this is what we are going to do. Yeah.
Sir, can I?
Yeah. I have already given the approval. I already told you.
This class was very useful for me, the last class, and I have some
Yeah, give me a sec. Give me
coverage
a sec.
issue,
Okay.
network issue.
Okay. Can you give me a sec? I'm receiving a call.
So I hear full. I don't hear full
Yeah.
class.
Can you give me a couple of
Your
minutes?
full
Yeah.
lecture.
Yeah.
Mm,
Excuse me. Can you give me a couple of minutes?
um,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the inconveniences. I just received a call. Yeah. Go ahead, Ilma. Where is she? Yeah. You can go ahead. Hello. Are you there?
okay, sir. And I. Oh yeah, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. And I also like your method that speaking text, reading the text you give. It's also very useful. Um, I want in this on these days. So this class very useful to me.
Okay. So, do you have any suggestion to improve this teaching technique? Any suggestions from your end?
I think, yeah, I think you
Yeah.
you give because when a teacher give a task, I must.
Yeah. I can't hear you. Are you talking something? Okay. So, is Fatima Sata have any? Yeah. Do you have any? Yeah. You want to talk? Hello. Okay. Now it's your time, right? So you can talk, right? I appreciate Ilma, but now she's not speaking. I don't know. Sometimes there might be connection or some other issues. Now MS Fatima Satta has unmuted herself. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead with the ideas. Do you want to talk anything? No? Are you talking something? I don't know. I can't hear you. Okay, so 503 Muhammad Yusuf. Muhammad Yusuf, do you have any idea? Because I can see others, ladies, but I prefer to hear from boys. I think only one boy, yeah? Muhammad Yusuf. Yeah, Muhammad Yusuf, can you unmute yourself? Hello. No. Okay. Farha. I can't call, you see, I can't call all the people one by one, you know? Okay, so I will continue the session. So that statistics, now you see, you are ignoring the opportunity and you will regret later, right? Okay, So the statistic, okay, that statistics is inherently kind of incoherent, right? So I don't know the actually, to be honest with you, I know the meaning of inherent, right? Inherent is okay, but incoherent I didn't know. So I'm going to teach you these two words today, right? So inherent mean instinctive, right? By birth we have that habit, right? For example, that is a basic or permanent part of somebody or something that cannot be removed. Okay, now for example, if you have a habit by birth and you cannot change that one, that is called inherent habit, right? Inherent habit, or we can even say intrinsic habit. Intrinsic mean by birth you have that habit, it cannot be removed from you, right? The difficulties inherent in a study of this type. So this is just a phrase, right? If you don't understand, just skip that. Violence is inherent in our society. So what do you understand by this sentence? Violence is inherent in our society. From the origin of our society, the violence exists. We cannot remove it from our society. You know, that's the meaning of this sentence. Oh, okay, it's okay. Right. Did you understand the meaning of this sentence? Violence is inherent in our society. It exists as permanent in our society, right? So if you want to highlight, inherent means permanent, which cannot be removed. Which cannot be removed. Something that is permanent and which cannot be removed is called inherent, right? Inherent. So violence is inherent. So inherent is used like beautiful in this context, right? For example, she is beautiful and beautiful lady. So this is an adjective. This is an adjective. So violence is inherent in our society. Did you understand its meaning, or is it confusing? Tell me, is it confusing? No, right? Am I audible?
Yes, right.
Have you understood the meaning of this sentence? So hereafter you can tell, right? So while you are talking to your friends, you can tell, you know, violence is inherent in our society. Everybody is, what do you call it? Everybody is not abiding by the rules and regulations, and violences have increased in our society. Means, you know, we cannot remove it from our society. Every day the number of violence are increasing, right? We cannot remove it from our society. And an inherent weakness in the design of the machine, which means, for example, let's say we have a machine and by default it has some faults. By default it has some faults, means weaknesses. We cannot remove it. We cannot remove the faults. So an inherent weakness in the design of the machine, which means kind of, you know, have you heard about manufacturing defect? Kind of manufacturing defect, right? An inherent weakness in the design of the machine. Is that okay? Have you understood the meaning of this phrase? An inherently unworkable system, which means, how can you explain this? An inherently means from the beginning this system is not working, right? And we cannot make it work at all. That is called an inherently unworkable system, right? Okay, now this is about inherent. Now we have studied another word, that is inherent, right? So okay, so incoherent, right? Incoherent. How many of you have heard this word before? How many of you have heard this word before? Oh, okay. So can you read the description of this word? Can you read the description? Here, I have inserted everything. You can simply read it, yeah? Who can read? Who is this SUIS 19 PS091? Yeah. Are you in the meeting? I don't know who you are. PS091. What's your name? Hello? Am I audible? Jiha. Who is Jiha? Can you read this description of this one? Yeah.
One of people unable to express yourself clearly, often because of emotion.
Okay. So what does it tell? They are unable to express themselves very clearly. They don't know how to express how they feel, right? How they feel. For example, you are going through a struggle and you cannot explain the other person what you are actually going through. Yeah. So those kind of people are called incoherent people. Incoherent people, right? So yeah, right. So now you see this sentence. She broke off incoherent with anger, right? If you are anger, you cannot sometimes express how you feel, right? Incoherent, right? And the second meaning is of sounds. For example, sometimes statistics cannot explain a particular data, right? So I don't know how many of you are coming from the statistical background. So the statistics itself is an issue, right? Sometimes we cannot understand statistics that the professor wants to tell, right? So in his speech, this is what he wants to tell. Okay, right. Now we have to learn some random vocabulary also. Since most of the people have left the meeting, I think we better wind up the session now and we'll meet in the next class. Okay. Before winding up the session, do you have any other questions to ask? If you don't have any questions, you can leave. Yeah. Otherwise, you can ask if you have any questions.